Welcome again, and in this session I want us to look at a question on quadratic equation, and it is a direct one. We are given the equation and we are told the method, which is completing the square technique, to solve for the value of x. So it might seem challenging, but we are going to try and see how it is done so that you're fully prepared for your examination. And then we are supposed to find the value of x using the completing square technique. So this is a quadratic equation. And then this is what we are going to do. One, we are going to ensure that the unknowns are left on one side. That is the 6x squared and the minus 13x are left on the same side. So that is 6x squared minus 13x. But then the constant, which is known, it lacks an unknown, so we need to eliminate it. So eliminating it on the left hand side simply requires us to look at its value, then we check the sign. So if the sign is a positive, we subtract itself. And what we've done here, we do on the second side. So 6 minus 6 is a 0. 0 minus 6 is a minus 6. So we are done with that. So we move to the next step. The next step, therefore, would require us to consider the coefficient of x squared. So x squared, we have it, and then its coefficient, which is a, is 6. But we need to remember that completing square only works when a is 1. But in this case, our a is 6. So this will not work. For it to work, we must ensure that the 6 is reduced to 1. So how do we do that? We are going to move down. So how do you reduce the coefficient of a number to 1? You divide through by the number. And whatever you do to the first, cut across with it. Because if you don't, you're going to interfere with the value, and even if you get an answer, that answer is going to be very, very wrong. So 6x squared divided by 6, that is going to be x squared. And now if you consider the coefficient, this a, you'll realize that it is 1. It is only 1 times x squared, which gives you x squared. So we are on point. Then we are going to have 13 over 6x. Then we are going to have minus 6 divided by 6, that is negative 1. And up to there, we are good to go. I know somebody might be tempted. They might say that, since I have a calculator, or rather, why can't I reduce this to improper fraction? Or why can't I, not improper rather, but a mixed number? Why can't I reduce it to a fraction? Not a fraction, but a decimal. Decimal numbers are not accurate. That one we can agree on. And it is also simpler to work with improper fraction when conducting multiplications and division. So let us leave it at that. It is good to deal with it the way it is. Then we are going to remember that there is that unit that is normally bringing in the concept of completing square. That is normally b over 2, and then we square it. In our case, our b is an entire unit of minus 13 over 6, and everything I'm going to put it over 2. Remember, negative 13 over 6, the whole of it is b. And then that 2 is a constant. In the completing square formula, it is there. And then that is what we are going to square. So if you work out this, then it is going to be negative 13, and then we multiply the two denominators. That is going to give us that. Or rather, you can put this in your calculator direct the way it is, and you'll get negative 13 over 12. And this is the completing square that we are supposed to add to both ends. So let us proceed. So on the first side, we have x squared, and then we are going to add the completing square, which is minus 13 over 12. Also has to be squared, as we have seen. Then on the second side, we have minus 1 plus the completing square, also over 2. So since this is squared, mathematically it is true to take the x, then we take whatever we have in the second, in the bracket under the second square, which is negative 13 plus 12. Don't forget the sign, and then we square. So this and that is the same. So we are going to have minus 1 plus negative 13 squared, that is 169. And then 12 squared, that is 144. So if we work out this side, here we are going to have x minus 13 over 2 squared. On the other side, minus 1 plus 169 over 144, that is going to be 25 over 144. And then we are going to find a way to do away with the square. So to do away with that, we are going to root this, and whatever we've done to the left hand side, we do to the right hand side. But remember, 25 over 144 was positive. Getting the square root of a positive number gives two answers, one of which is a positive, the other of which is a negative. So that is what we should have there. So let us continue going. So here we're going to have x minus 13 over 12 equals, no longer have the square because the root removed it. So we are going to have plus or minus, square root of 25 is 5, that of 144 is 12. So this is what we're going to have. So we need to simplify this. We are going to collect like terms, or rather, yeah, we can take this on the other side, or we can eliminate it as we did when we were starting. So how do we get rid of this? Because it is a negative, we are going to add its equivalent, and whatever we've done here, we are going to do to the second side also. So negative 13 over 12 plus positive 13 over 12, that is x, is what we're going to be left with. The second side, we are going to have 5 over 12, which is a plus or a minus, and then we are going to have plus 13 over 12 there. So that is what we are going to have. So if we took the positive to give us our first x, that is going to be 13 over 12 plus 5 over 12. And the whole of this is going to give us 3 over 2. If I took the second, which is a negative, I'll have 13 over 12 minus 5 over 12, and this will give me 2 over 3. So mathematically, either x is 3 over 2, or the same x is 2 over 3. If you can remember that for your examination, rest assured, 3 marks are down for you. Thank you.